Prabhuji, who has spared their precious time to hear about the Krishna Katha. I would like to thank you, His Grace Arjuna Prabhuji, Vedkar Prabhuji, for all the senior devotees who has given me opportunity to glorify the Lord. And in case if I make any mistake, please forgive me. So please pray for me so that I can glorify the Lord. Thank you. So today we will have the verse 10.22. So first I will recite. Vedanam samvedo asmi. Vedanam samvedosmi. Devanam asmi vasava. Devanam asmi vasava. Indriyanam manaschasmi. Indriyanam manaschasmi. Bhutanam asmi chetana. Bhutanam asmi chetana. Devanam nivasava. Indriyanam manaschasmi. Bhutanam chetana.
Vedanam samavedosmi.
Vedanam samavedosmi.
Devanam asmi vasava.
Devanam asmi vasava.
Indriyanam manaschasmi.
Indriyanam manaschasmi.
Bhutanam asmi chetana.
Bhutanam asmi chetana. Vedanam samvedosmi. Devanam asmi vasava. Indriyanam manaschasmi. Bhutanam asmi chetana. Vedanam samvedosmi. Devanam asmi vasava. Indriyanam manaschasmi. Bhutanam asmi chetana. Vedanam samvedosmi. Devanam asmi vasava. Indriyanam manaschasmi. Bhutanam asmi chetana. Mataji. Devanam samvedosmi. Devanam asmi vasava. Indriyanam manaschasmi. Bhutanam asmi chetana. So, what by our meaning? Vedanam. Among us, the Vedas. Samveda. The Samveda. Asmi. I am. Devanam. Of all the celestial gods. Asmi,
अस्मि
I am
अयं
Vasava,
वासवः
Indra, Indriyanam,
इन्द्रियाणां
amongst the senses,
senses
Manaha,
मनः
the mind, Cha, and Asmi,
अस्मि
I am
अयं
Bhutana,
भूतानां
amongst the living beings, Asmi, I am Chetana,
चेतना
consciousness.
consciousness
Translation. I am the Sam Veda amongst the Vedas, and Indra amongst the celestial gods. Amongst the senses, I am the mind. Amongst the living beings, I am the consciousness. Perfect. The difference between matter and the spirit is that matter has no consciousness like the living entities. Therefore, their consciousness is supreme and eternal. Consciousness cannot be produced by a combination of matter. ॐ अज्ञानतिमनन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रामयं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतगतफलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणरघुनाथं तं सदजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विश्वधामुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरोभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धु एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय विष्णुप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी विचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी वाचात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर देवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So chapter 10, the title is the opulence of the Absolute, and also it's called Vibhuti Yoga. So in this chapter, the Krishna's all the opulences are described. So in the sloka number 12 and 13, Arjuna accepts that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then he says, Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Param Param Dham, Kosam Tattvajam, Adi Devam, Ajam Vibhum. Then, so then he describes that it is not only I am telling, it's all the rishis like Asito, Devlo, Vyasa, they are confirming that. And so same I am also confirming that you are the Supreme Personality of God. Then Arjuna tells that please tell me more about your opulences. So Krishna says that, and then Arjuna again says that in 18th sloka that as I hear more and more your opulences, I am not satisfied, so I would like to hear more about your glories or vibhutis. So then Krishna described his opulences from sloka number 19 to 42. So there are total 42 vibhutis are described from sloka 19 to 42. And so in the first vibhutis is in the sloka number 19, which is Krishna is telling my opulence is limitless. So we cannot count it and we cannot describe it in full. So then Krishna says, I will describe the some of the prominent manifestations. And out of them, he will describe in the next sloka from 19, from 22 onwards. So in the 20, Krishna is telling, I am the super soul in the heart of all living entities. So in the all the living entities, there is Krishna is present as a super soul, again with along with the soul. So Krishna is present in all the living beings, not only the humans, all the creatures in this material world, and also non-material things. So in the last Sanatan Prabhuji described about the 10.21. So in that it says, among us the Adityas, I am the Vishnu, the Vamanavata. And among us the luminaries, I am the Sun God. And among the Marutas means wind God, so I am Mari. And among the stars, I am the moon. So in today's sloka 10.22, Krishna is telling, among us the Vedas, I am the Samaveda. Among us the Devatas, I am the Indra. Among us the senses, I am the mind. And among all the living beings, I am the consciousness. So Krishna is describing his different vibhutis in this. So here we have some of the points like the Vedas. So first we describe what is the Veda. So we know the in Bhagavad Gita what is described about the Vedas. So Bhagavad Gita sloka number 2.42 and 43. It says, Yamam imam puspitam vakam pradanti avischetah veda veda tata partha nanyat asti vedina कामात्मना स्वर्ग पराज जन्म कर्म फल पदम क्रिया विशेषण स्थूलम भोगेश्वर कतिम प्रतिम. So the men of small intelligence are very much attached to the flowery words of the Vedas, which recommends various routine activity for elevations to heavenly planets, resulting good birth, power, and so forth. So, being desires of sense gratifications and opulent life, they say that there is nothing more than this. So, Krishna is telling that those people who have small intelligence and who look after for the immediate sense gratification, who wants sense gratification and who wants result immediately, they take shelter of the Vedas or Devatas, and but they all are recommended for the fruity activities, which means that we want either a good birth or we want to enjoy our senses, and by doing this, what we'll get? We'll get good birth, power, name, fame, and those who are after name and fame and power, they take shelter of the Vedas. But Krishna again says in the 15.15 that सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टो मतस्मृतिर्ज्ञानम् अपोहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैरहम् एव विद्यो वेदांत विद एव चाहम्. So I am thus seated in everyone's heart, and from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. And by all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedantas, and I am the knower of the Vedas. So it says that all the Vedas has originated from the Krishna's breathing. So when Krishna breathes, all these Vedas comes out. And Krishna is the one who has created all these Vedas. And by all these Vedas, which has all the different rituals and prescriptions, says what to know about from these Vedas, that to know about the Krishna. So by knowing about the Krishna, we can progress in the devotional service. So by all the Vedas is what to be known is to know about the Krishna. So we all know that there are four Vedas. So which are the four Vedas? Can someone tell me? The so these are the four Vedas. So Krishna says among the Vedas, I am the Sam Veda. So first we will describe what all these Vedas contains. So first is Atharvaveda Vedas. This is the oldest and the most sacred, focus on the spiritual knowledge and cosmic laws and the creation, how this world is created, and deals with the philosophies and how this world is made, and about the demigod worship. So Rigved has mostly about the all the karma kandas to worship the demigod and how to please them and get the benedictions. Then the second Veda is Yajurveda. So this Yajurveda contains rituals and the sacrifices by which we can actually please the demigod, and different worship procedures which are divided in the two main sections, which is called Shukla means white and Krishna means black, and also emphasize the importance of karma and the yajna means sacrifice. So we should do karma, and should do sacrifice which pleases the actually demigods here, not the Krishna. That's are described in the Yajurveda. So which pleases the different demigods, so who will give us the power to get material enjoyments. And the third, which is most dearest to Krishna, which is Samaveda. So Samaveda is the actually collections of the melodies and chant for the rituals derived from the Rig Veda. So this is also derived from the Rig Veda, and with emphasis on the musical notations, how in which tone or which uh, rhythm, we should sing about the glories of the Lord and focuses on emotional and spiritual aspects of worship. So how we worship properly. So in Samaveda, it's described about the how we glorify the Lord. So some of the suktas are in the Samaveda. And what Atharvaveda contains? It deals with the magical and the material aspect of the life. This contains different types of spells, incarnations, and the rituals for protections and healing, and focuses on the everyday life, health, and well-being. So, which means it also contains about your this Ayurveda. So, Ayurveda is also part of Atharvaveda, and how the economy is maintained. These all things are in the Atharvaveda. So, in Atharvaveda also describe about the crown protections and Govardhan, how to increase the cows. It also described because in the ancient scripts, the our real wealth is the cows. So now we will learn about something about Samaveda. So among the third among these the four Vedas is the Samaveda. So it is an ancient Indian scripture focusing on the musical hymns and the chants. How we chant different mantras in different meters, and is derived from the Rigveda originally, and it emphasizes the emotional and spiritual aspect of worship. So how we with how we should do worship, and also the musical notations and melodies for the rituals list emphasis on the harmony, balance, and the spiritual, and it provides the spiritual and emotional expressions through music. So how we connect with the Lord by expressing in the musical form the Lord's praise, and which are essential for our initiations and other Vedic rituals. So it recognizes music as a mean to attain the spiritual liberation. So by just reciting some Veda, we can get liberation, and it also highlights the interconnectedness of all the living beings. How we all living beings are connected. So in the Vishnu Purana, it says that Sam Veda is manifested from the Lord Vishnu's vehicle, which is Garuda's wing. So when Garuda flies from his wings, he is actually reciting the all the hymns from the Samveda. So Garuda ji actually describe the glories of the Samveda, and Lord likes very much the Samveda Suktas in the page of the Lord. So next is the is Indra among us the celestial god. So first thing is who is Indra? Indra is not a person; it is a designation or a position in the kingdom of heaven. So among the all the celestial god, Indra is the supreme. So in the all the slokas, it then Krishna is telling who is the best among us the anything. He is the Krishna. So among us the all the demigods, the Indra is the supreme. So he is the Indra. So who can become Indra? One who can do 100 Ashwamedha Yajna. Then he can become the Indra. So anybody actually can become Indra by doing 100 Ashwamedha Yajna. But in today's life, it's next to impossible to do 100 Ashwamedha Yajna because it requires a lot of resources. So that's why it's not possible. So we all know which number is greater, 99 or 100? Tell me. 100? So now I tell today's story, then you will say all that no, 99 is better. Hmm? So we say in the mathematical terms, like how it is said is important. So somebody says this 100 kg is more or 99% of 1 lakh kg is more. This is more. Hmm? So 99% is more, no? So 99 is more. So among the numbers, if we say how we are saying based on the which place we are talking, about which thing we are talking, the numbers may change its meaning. So, so today we'll hear about the Prithu and so it's also a story from Padma Purana. So in that it said that we know that Prithu Maharaj, he was a very pious and renowned king, and his always focus was to get betterment of his citizens. So for the betterment of citizens, he decided to do 100 Ashwamedha Yajna. And so he started doing, he did 10, 20, 90, and 98 and 99. When he completed the 99 yajnas, then you know who becomes very jealous? Hmm? Indra. So Indra become very jealous that once he will complete the 100 yajna, then he will become the Indra. So my position is doldrum. So he says that I need to do something to stop him doing this. So when Prithu Maharaj was performing his 100 yajna, so in Ashwamedha yajna there is a horse, and that horse it will roam, and up to which kingdom it can, it is under that Rajya it's considered. So when this horse was going, and Indra he became a sadhu and he tied this horse. And this happened many times, one, two, three times. So every time Prithu Maharaj was doing this yajna and Indra was stealing or hiding this horse. And then Prithu Maharaj sent his son to search for that horse. And he found that it's the Indra who is stealing this horse. So Prithu Maharaj became very angry and he was about to kill Indra. So at that time, Lord Brahma came and Brahma told to Prithu Maharaj that you already has completed 99 yajnas and that is enough to please all the demigods and Lord Krishna, and Krishna is already pleased with your devotion. So you better not to do 100 Ashwamedha. You can stop at 99. So although Prithu Maharaj was not doing this for his name or fame, he was doing for what purpose? To glorify the Lord and it will help his citizens. So that's why that was his purpose to do this Ashwamedha Yajna. But Indra, with his small thoughts, was thinking that he will take my position. So that's why he was not allowing to do it. So here in this story, we can see that although Brahma can told even Indra to stop, but he told Prithu Maharaj that he can stop at the 99, not to do 100 again. Why? So anything thoughts?
God wanted him to be beyond
No, he was not. He was never thinking about the heaven. When Maharaj was doing, he was never thinking about the heavens. He was thinking about it will please Lord and it will help his uh, citizens to grow and their well-being he was doing. Result is that, but purpose, the what is intention is important. So here intention is was different. So what is the intention? Yes, that we know. But why Lord Brahma stopped Prithu Maharaj? He didn't told to Indra that you should not, you should let Prithu Maharaj do this thing. This is the yes, because he was knowing that Prithu Maharaj has higher consciousness. So he knows what is the goal of life and he can understand it better. So that's why he tried to consolidate Prithu Maharaj. Same things also happen in our life also. We know that our two children are fighting. eh? And then we always try to tell the elder one that you should listen to your younger one. Why? Dimple has this complaint that you are every time telling me only. You are not telling to Madhav. But you need to understand the day I will tell to Madhav that you understand, then it will be disastrous for you. So elder children need to understand that parents always tell to because they think that he has higher consciousness and he will be able to understand it better. That's why we tell.
better intelligence.
Yeah, that's why we always tell to compromise the who has better intelligence. And those even in we can also understand in our arguments with our colleagues. So the person who is able to tolerate other people's fault or who is able to accept it because he is a higher conscious and those with the lower conscious will be not able to understand it. So with this picture something rings in our mind. What this picture tells? Okay, yes, Durvasa and Indra. So I'm describing another story of Indra. So in this once Indra was traveling on his era on the cosmic globe, and Durvasa Muni was also going. And seeing Indra, Durvasa become compassionate on him, and he offered this garland, which was offered to Lord Vishnu, which is got from Lord Vishnu, and he offered to Indra. And Indra, being puffed up in his powers and prestige, he accepted this garland, and then he given this garland to his dear Eravat. And Eravat, being an elephant, he didn't recognize the importance of this mala, and he throw it down. And later on, he walk on this. Seeing this, Durvasa Muni is what is famous for? Is anger. So he become very angry, and he cursed Indra that being so puffed up, so you will lose your all this aishwarya, and so that your this being puffed up and this government will come to the ground. So he cursed this Durvasa Muni to Indra. So because of this curse, after this incident, he just went to his heaven lok in his sabha where all the demigods were there, and when his guru, who is his guru? Brihaspati. So when Brihaspati ji he came in the sabha, then Indra didn't give him respect and he didn't bow down. So also it says in the spiritual scripture, the moment we are not giving respect to our gurus, that day, that moment itself, our fall down started. So that moment onwards, the Indra's fall down started. And then the story I will describe quickly, that Bali Maharaj, he was the demon king at that time. He saw that he has insulted his guru, and under the instruction of his guru, he attacked the heavenly planets, and then he defeated Indra and taken the all the powers of Indra, and all the demigod becomes subordinate to Bali Maharaj. And just to get his power back, then he prayed to Lord Vishnu, and then Lord Vishnu said that you need to do which lila. Hmm? Yes, yes. So then he did the churning of the ocean. So that everybody I think knows the story, churning of ocean. So this is how the churning of ocean started because of the beginning of this curse from the Durvasa Muni. So when we hear about Indra, all these things come our mind that he offended this Muni or he did this thing or this thing. Then why the Lord is always protect the Indra? This question comes in mind or no? So anybody can tell this reason that why we are seeing that in all the stories Indra is performing various offenses, and he also do offenses against the Lord himself, Krishna himself. Then still we are seeing that among us the Devtas, Lord is Krishna is Indra. Why is telling like this? Yes, their devotees. Yes. So we can also see that whenever Indra get in any difficulty, he will always goes to whom? Krishna. So in every difficulties, we are seeing that Indra is always going to Lord Vishnu for protections. And not only this, we can see Indra is also performing various activities to please Lord Krishna. So he is maintaining all these material words and the spiritual words, especially heavenly words. Administration, he is the one who is managing, and he is doing the sevas by which Krishna is pleased. So that's why we are saying that although in the various stories Indra is performing various offenses to his devotees and Krishna himself, and despite that, Lord always bestows his mercy on the Krishna because he is the best amongst all the devatas, and which is the best amongst anything. He is the Krishna that we can say. So third point is, among us the senses, I am the mind. So we know we have five senses, and the sixth senses is the mind. So five senses are eyes, from that we can see, and the ears, from that we do hearing for the Lord, and the jiva, from that we taste, and the skin, through that we can touch, and the nose, through that we smell. So from these five senses we can do all our activities. But can you think about that? This any senses can perform any activity without the mind? So without mind, can we smell? So without the mind, can we see? So among us, all these senses, the most important sense is the mind, and through the mind only, it's like say in Hindi, man ke jeete jeet, man ke jeete haar. So whatever our mind, by the mind only we can accept any defeat, or by the mind only, if in the mind we accept that we are defeated, so then we are always defeated. But in the mind, if we thought that we need to do it somehow, then we will be able to do it or achieve it. So the mind is very powerful. So what is the references in the Bhagavad Gita about the mind? So in the sloka number 15.7, Mamimvanso jiviloke jivabhuta sanatana manasasthani indriyani prakritisthani karshati. So the living entities in this conditional world are my eternal fragmental parts, and due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the six senses, and which includes the mind. So here Krishna is telling that again the same sloka here is also repeating the same thing. And can we control this mind? So Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita sloka number 6.34. चंचलम ही मन कृष्णा प्रमाथि बलवत्तम तस्याम निग्रहम मनः विपयो वायो एव सुदुष्करम. So Krishna is telling this mind is very restless, very turbulent, and very obstinate, and it is very strong. Oh Krishna, and to subdue it, I think, is more difficult than controlling the wind. So who is telling this? Krishna is, Arjuna is telling this, that controlling the mind is very difficult. Controlling wind is easy, but controlling mind is very difficult. So the next question is how we can control the mind. Yes. Next sloka in 6.35. Krishna says about on Arjuna's question. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Asantayam Mahabaho Manodur Manodurgriham Chalchalam Abhyasena tu Kanteya Vairagyena cha Grayate. So Lord Krishna is saying, O mighty aunt, son of Kunti, it is undoubtedly very difficult to curb the restless mind, but it is possible by the suitable practice and the detachment. So by the doing this practice every day. So that's why in Krishna consciousness we say that we need to chant every day to control our mind and to purify our mind. And so by practicing regularly. And the second point is detachment. By being detached, we can control our mind. So by controlling mind, what we are going to do it then? Why we want to control our mind? So if then we want to control our mind for this, in Bhagavad Gita again says 18.65. मन्मना भव मन्मत्तो मध्याजी माम नमस्कुरु माम एवस्ति सत्यम ते प्रतिजानो प्रियोसिनी me. So means always think of me. So by controlling mind, what we do is that should we always think of me, and we become devotee of the Lord and worship Him and offer your homage unto Him, and thus you will come to me without fear. And I promised you this because you are my very dear friend. So Krishna is telling that by controlling your mind, what you should do? You worship me. You become my devotee and offer obeisance to me. And if you do this, then what will happen? You will come to Krishna. You will get Krishna Bhakti. And that's the purpose of all our gathering here together. And gathering here, then that we become Krishna conscious. We should hear about the Lord, praise the Lord, and hear the glories of the Lord. So this is all about the mind. In the next sloka, it is among the living beings, I am the consciousness. So the fourth vibhuti is which? Is among the living beings, I am the consciousness. So consciousness is by which differentiate between a living being and non-being. So anything which is living beings, this has a consciousness, and which do not have a consciousness. So some can also say the soul and consciousness is same or different. The soul and consciousness is same or different.
But yeah, soul is
Yes, but at the same time it's different also. Soul carries the yeah. So actually, soul is the jivatma. So consciousness and the soul is like same at the time different also. Same because it always travel together. Okay, and different means the soul is by which a living being is there, but soul has the consciousness which determines our different activities. Okay, so we can say so do by the different chemicals. It says that all body is made by different chemicals which can be purchased in 100 rupees. All those chemicals can be purchased in 100 rupees. So by those chemicals can we make a living beings? So we cannot make by all these chemical mixing these chemicals we cannot make a living beings. So living beings require a soul or consciousness, and that consciousness can be only come from the Krishna. So among the soul, who is the best? Is the consciousness, and this consciousness cannot be produced by the combination of different matters. And thus, this consciousness is the proof, is the presence of the soul. So this consciousness also is a proof of a soul in living beings. So as the sun sign or light is the proof of the presence of sun. So how we identify that there is a sun? Because we are getting sunshine or sun ray. So similarly, the consciousness is the proof of the soul. So that's how they are different, soul and consciousness. Okay. So now thing is, if so, are we having we as a living being has a consciousness? Okay. So let's assume that there is a snake which is going on this table. So will this table react? Now assume this snake is going on our body. So what is best to do now? Hmm? Well, what is best to do now? If snake is moving on your body, not to move. Okay? If we are moving, then snake will get scared and he will bite. But if we, like an unconscious thing, we do not make any move, so there are more chances that we will be safe. So why I give this example here? Because, but it is not possible for everybody to not react because we have consciousness. Hmm? Because we have consciousness, that's why we will also react and we will become fearful, and many of the people will try to run away. Although best is not to move at all. So we can also see in our daily life nearby. Now we can see that there are robots who can act like humans. Mhm. They can have even expressions like humans. They can laugh like us. They can talk like us, and they can also walk like us. But still, there is a difference between living beings and robot. So what is the difference? The consciousness. So consciousness is only to that which differentiate between living beings and non-living beings. So we can also see that in the sloka number 13.34. So in this sloka, यथा प्रकाशत्य एकः कृष्णं लोक इमं रवि क्षेत्र क्षेत्री तथा कृष्णं प्रकाशयन्ति भारत. So O son of Bharat, as the sun alone illuminates all this universe, so does the living being entities. And one within this body illuminates the entire body by the consciousness. So again, Krishna is telling in this sloka, chapter 13.34, that this all body is illuminated by your consciousness, similar to the sun. So among the living beings is the consciousness. Now the thing is how to purify our consciousness. We all know that we have consciousness. Now when we come in our SCON, so our one of the purpose is to purify our consciousness. So question is how we can purify our consciousness. Yes, japa, anything else? Hmm? Okay. Yeah. So we have 9 process of devotional service. Hmm? By doing engaging our consciousness in Krishna's service by any of one, all the 9 or any of one of these 9 processes, we can purify our consciousness. So the only process that will purify the mind is to engage in the Krishna. So Prabhupada says that until we do not have higher taste, until we do not have higher taste, we'll be able to not engage our mind in the processes. So once we get this higher taste, we can purify our mind or we can engage our mind. And we engage our mind in Krishna, naturally the consciousness will become purified. And there is no chance that the material desires and greed will enter in our mind. So peoples are all after the Vedas. Why? Because they have many material desires. And to fulfill those material desires, they take shelter of demigods or the Vedas. But Krishna is telling that we should engage our mind and purify our mind. And by doing this, you will come to me. So Prabhupada is saying, there is no loss in being Krishna conscious, but the gain is very great. So by engaging our mind in becoming Krishna consciousness, we do not have any loss. So some people telling that you are by being in Krishna consciousness, you are wasting your full life. This life is to enjoy. So Prabhupada say, and if there is no God, then what will happen? That you wasted your life. Prabhupada says that if there is a God, then what will happen to you? So Krishna, there is a God, and if God is there, then we should be engaging ourselves in the Krishna service. And by doing this, at least we are not wasting our time. Prabhupada said that by being in the Krishna, what worst thing can happen? That you will become gentle. That's the worst thing will happen. That you will engage your life in the being a gentleman. That's the worst thing can happen. Otherwise, there is no loss. This will be a great gain. So there is this song, Hari Hari Pipale, Manushya Janma Paile, Radha Krishna na Bhajiye, Janiye Sunibe E. So here the author is telling that by forgetting about the Krishna, and this Manushya Janma, by getting this Manushya Janma, and if we haven't Bhajiye Radha Krishna, then we have actually taken the poison, विष जानकर भी हमने विष खा लिया है उसकी तरह. So we should be always use over this life which Krishna has given us, so that we can buzz about the Radha and Krishna. So with this, I would again summarize that in today's lecture, this Loka 10.22, it says about the among us the Vedas, I am the Sam Veda. Among us the Devatas, I am the Indra. Among us the senses, I am the mind. And among us the living beings, I am the consciousness. And then Krishna proves that why Samveda is best? Because Krishna likes to hear the melodies of Samveda. Among us the Devatas, Indra is best because Indra is the one who goes to Krishna for all the protections and whenever he gets in any difficulties, and he performs lot of service to the Krishna. And among us the senses, your mind. Why mind? Because of the five senses, who is the control all the five senses? Is controlled by the mind. And among us the living beings is the consciousness which controls our entire body and our soul. And by purifying our consciousness, we can go back to Godhead. And also Krishna says that by following these Vedas, the man of small knowledge, they are the attracted the flowery words of the Vedas. And as a devotees, all these Vedas will give us the sense gratification and the opulence life. And once seen a punya, we will going to come back again this material world. So we should be following the Krishna consciousness and the pure devotional service, by which we can go back to Godhead, Krishna. So Hare Krishna. If by any way I have offended anyone, please forgive me. Thank you. If anybody has any question,
very nice to be very nice example. We can forward. Additionally, you got a lot of position. So, unifying mind with further by how to maintain the
I am not right person to answer this. Whatever I heard, that I'll tell you. But I am not the one who is following this. So, how to purify our mind is, as we already discussed, that we need to do 9 process of devotional service. And by engaging our mind by different action, because controlling mind is not easy. So what we need to do, practice every day. So also Krishna says the abhyas is upante. So only we can control our mind by doing regular practice. So whatever, so that's why as a householder, we have duty that we should do always DT verse. Why? To control our mind and to remind ourselves that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead and I am the servant of the Lord. To teach our mind this, we are doing daily service. So that's how we can control. And the second point is to control our mind is, first is, and the second is detachment. So whatever activity we are doing for the pleasure of the Lord without attaching the results of the activity. So by being detached to the whatever activity we are doing, we can control our mind. These two things are as per the Shastras. Anybody else would like to add, so they can add also. Prabhuji, another Prabhuji can add something.
Thank you, sir. I think when you cover that point, all I can add is if we stick to the instructions given by our spiritual master and remind ourselves every moment of our life that we are not this body, we are the soul. And we have to know what is our prayer. Prabhuji was talking about prayer the other day. What is our objective? Where do we have to go? If these things are continuously in our mind, I think we can at least try to control the mind, which is very sensitive of being safe. And by reminding ourselves continuously that we have to only think of Krishna and any other thought is a waste of time. If we do that, I think slowly we can purify our mind and all the now with the we have already spoken about chanting we spoke about. So yesterday Prabhuji was saying every breath we have to chant. If we can practice that, that every breath, any breath can be our last breath. So if we have this thought in mind and every breath if we can take of Krishna or take his name, I think we can continue to purify our mind. That's the only way we can do it.
Anybody else?
Okay. I think that's a very good question. How to purify the mind?
think that this one of the answers maybe I heard from the diagram that we put for senses going to the mind. It's a very you see, all the senses are reporting to mind. In the sense organs are sending the signals to the mind. Basically, what's happening is here we should focus on another level. Especially, for example, the eyes, what we are seeing, is sending the signal to mind. If it is sending a disturbing signal, so the mind is recording that disturbing signal. For example, we are watching something on the television, or we are using some disturbing music. That is getting recorded in our mind. So mind is part of the gathering unit. So we are told your mind can be dustbin also, like you are throwing all the garbage through the sense. If you can stop through another unit, stop when I don't hear. I'm just example for this. Like I don't hear that, I don't see that, I don't talk that. So it is sort of you are not feeding your mind with that. So what happens is the mind is not receiving that signal. Then that is the behavior you are doing and what is the belief. Because the belief is like instead of seeing television, you start to see, for example, babies of God. In the television itself, instead of seeing the movies, you start seeing the arti of the, for example. You are sending good signals to the mind. So mind, which is a storehouse, instead of getting any garbage, it starts to get signals of war. So all the sensors, it can be put we are hearing Acharyas, Prabhupada, we are hearing Kirtan. So you are feeding the mind with this devotional thoughts. So the mind gets purified. So two happens. Yes, one is removing the old thing, that is purifying the mind from its anartha and feeding the devotional aspect. This is the difference for changing the mind is not. And probably it was answered by during our years.
Anything else? Anybody wants to add suggestions? Not appropriate or not relevant. So in that way, how to control? I mean, I heard something like consumption. Yes. So it says that, like Vishnu probably use this word very frequently, that by being sankalpa shakti, we can control our mind. Sankalpa shakti means that you are telling your mind that so you give your task to your mind that I need to do this activity, then I can do something else. So you can make your routine that I at this point of time I need to do book reading, at this time I need to do chanting, or then you need to do your activity of your material world, and then you need to make sankalpa every day that I need to read like 1 hour, 15 minutes, whatever the time which you agree with your mind that this much time I can give, and by following this routinely, you can control your mind. And this is a gradual process. It's not going to happen in 1 day or 2 days. It will happen over the period of time. And by taking the small step, incremental step, which we can do as per our capacity, slowly we can definitely improve on what we are right now today. which will be over the period of time will be improved. Always it will always improve over the what you are today right now. So you need to always compare yourself with what you were 1 year before and what are you after 1 year. So don't try to compare yourself with other people, and that way you can surely progress. And then you can decide that whether you want to progress faster or slowly. It's on in your hand. It's all in your hand. So you know that if you give this much time, then this much output. Like in office, in office always it says that your performance is in your hand. Your manager will always tell this. My manager is always telling this that your performance is in your hand. It's not in my hand. So similarly, in a devotional service, your performance is in your hand, and it's only you who can decide how much you want to progress or how less you are want to progress. Is the you only can decide. And other is your the type of people with whom you are engaged. So if you are engaging with the people who are having higher consciousness than you or who are more advanced in the devotional service, you will become like that. So these I think these two things will define that how much effort you want to put and the type of people with whom you are engaging. This will decide that how you progress.
And thank you, Prabhuji, for everything.
Can you give me some example of in the material world, like who has attained the good figure of Srila Prabhupada?
There are many examples, okay, who did very good materially also and the spiritually also. So all our Guru Parampara is example. You can say. Actually, even Prabhupada Guru Maharaj was his Pakistan and his father was Bhakti Vinod. So he was a householder and he was the best judge among us at this point of time. So he was so good that even the British government was sending a train for him. They created a railway line for him. So we can see from his life that he engaged his life so good that he himself progressed in the consciousness and the people around him, he also progressed. Let them also progress. So as a good devotee is not about he is growing in that both material. And we can see here in our Kanya Desh congregation also there are many examples. Like I can see in terms of Vishnudas Prabhuji, materially and also spiritually. This both ways. We can also see in our congregation Ravi Prabhuji. Can see. We can also see. So there are many examples nearby us. Better that we can take some inspiration from them.
Also, in 2.5 Bhagavad Gita, Supreme Personality of God Godhead said, O Partha, when a man gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification, which arise from mental consumption, and when his mind, thus purified, finds satisfaction in his self alone, then he is said to be in pure consciousness.
So Prabhupada says that when your mind is controlled and is purified, and how it will be getting purified? When we have some higher taste. So mind cannot be empty. It always needs some engagement. So if you are feeding your mind some higher engagement constantly, then over the period of time, That was so clarify.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Anything else? Thank you. Thank you very much.
And it was nice to thank you. Bottom of our heart. Thank you. Holy name.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
So let's have Aarti now. Who is in